It's such a pleasure to be here with DM and Lena and to be in conversation with the Alaska Quarterly Review, a magazine that has remained a favorite of mine for a long time. I'm going to read primarily from Women in the Waiting Room tonight. And I'll start with a first poem that's first in the sense that it's both the beginning of the book and in the sense that it talks about a first story, a foundational story. This poem thinks about the great Hindu epic poem, the Ramina, which is not just about its namesake, Lord Ram, but as many of you know, I'm sure, is also about his wife, Sita, who in the course of the story is carried away by a demon. On looking at myself in the mirror or rereading Valmiki's Ramayana, anyone can disappear across the black water. Every girl can be taught. Her middle name is shame. When will I burn the urge for purity? My bones are a furnace. My face is a game. Every girl steals away with a demon at some point. All her alphabets, ankle bells, all her braids. She will meet herself in the third person. She will lie with her fear. She will dress in her rage. The world is curdled with husbands, blue as the gods and gentle as flame. Hotline. I have been trained. So when she says, I watched my father smash my mother's forehead with a wooden broom handle, I show no sign of shock. The poet liked to say, you shouldn't borrow sorrow, write real things, dishpans, porch screens, broom handles. Give me a humble trash bag. For years, this face I trained my mind to unsee. Cheek eaten away by fish, girl body washed up in the canal, wrapped, the brand identified as glad. No scars, birthmarks, clothes, jewelry. 5'2", 133, precisely my own height and weight. Police were saying, was she sure it was a broom handle, metal or wooden? We need the details right. How could a wooden handle do all that? The poet suggests, make it a skillet. I'd believe he killed her with a skillet, if you must. On the page, I describe lilies wilting in a vase, because I have been trained, because you have been trained. Can you believe? 6 glistening stamens, smashed rust velvet anthers. That's a poem that found its home in Alaska Quarterly, actually. Waiting for sleep, I imagine Sita in her youth. She hid all day in a tree, ate guavas rubbed with salt and pepper, stalked the long-haired cat, begged for rotis, ghee, and sugar, watched as her mother dressed, bangles stacking her arms like gauntlets. From the window, she could see women from every corner of the city walk into the river, disappear, then rise clean, saris soaking. She drank milk from a hammered brass cup. Around her, aunts, cousins unrolled their sleeping mats. Of course, a woman oiled her hair. Of course, a woman lined her eyes. The inner world was made of women. They filled her stomach, mouth, breath. What do I need to see embroidered in my mind's own dark? this girl, young enough to fall asleep, this dream taking her into its current, so we might both rise ready to ring out the story. I've been thinking a lot about the way we face things we can't change. Maybe this is just a time of dread and worry, and thinking about sort of how we confront that was behind this next poem. I ride upon a tiger. My bones are made of whales, and when whales die, their songs. My eyes are pits of mangoes, scraped clean by teeth. From my feet plunge 50 streams. The rush, the cold, exposes underworlds of fear. 4 stomachs cannot explain my hungers. I have devoured myself. I have tread upon my loves. Strung with a necklace of hummingbirds, my hair in braids, my braids are tongues. Atop my head, a crown of 40 languages, all spoken at once. My breastplates gleam and thrum, 2 armies marching on. You who extract the marrow and the light, you who suck the sun and leave the bone eroded colder. Demon, disease, dear fated one, do you hear? I will come to you on the back of a tiger. We'll finish with one more from the end of the book. A few years ago, I moved to a town that has 2 rivers that run through it. And although I grew up with lots of water, surrounded by water, there were not rivers really where I grew up. So I find myself fascinated by the river all the time. Let me be as a river. Nothing but motion, muck-mouthed, mud-hearted, brackish, all dirty at the lip, with rise and fall that exposes, hull-gouging stones. No curiosity about source, no knowledge of destination, just willingness to bear anything right to the end. 1 hour wrinkled, 2 hours smooth, silver as fish skin, duck fouled, trash choked, silent, then gossiping under a full red moon. Let me be dredged when the leggy girls go missing, used for a slow cruise, churned for speed, reeking of the unseen ocean, veiled in the scent of pine trees, a fog in the head, then clear as the tip of a pin, enough beauty to draw blood, enough anger to strip the banks, enough fullness to carry the pleasure boats high. Thank you.
Thank you. That was really powerful.